welcome back on the Good Morning Artesia radio show, and time to talk a little fishing with Joby Houghtaling of the Pecos Valley Bassmasters. Good morning, Joby.
Hello. Good morning.
Hey, did you still want to go back and show some pictures from last time?
You bet. If you pull up our Facebook account, Pecos Valley Bassmasters.
I can do that. So
we didn't get to look at them last week, so we'll look at them this week.
Yeah. Well, I got the laptop back, and it's had 3 different rounds of updates.
Well, that's good.
Including this morning, I did another massive round of updates, so I think we're all caught up on here. But while I'm pulling it up, just real quick, football game was pretty exciting Friday night.
It was very exciting and good for the Bulldogs to get a win and get their first win of the season. And I think it's a lot of confidence building there. You know, Hobbs is a big, fast team and one of the biggest schools in the state. I think they were ranked number 3 in the state in Class 6A. So a lot of confidence building there for the Bulldogs and Coach Jerry Maupin and his staff. And, you know, we talked about it a lot. He's the new head coach, but it's not like he's new to Artesia. So he's used to the pressure. He's used to the expectations and is going to do a fine job, just like Rex did before him and of course, Cooper and then the guys before that. But anyway, yeah, it was a great win. It was fun. It was an exciting game. The Bulldogs, obviously, I think the coaches and the players would be the first ones to say this. They got a lot of room to improve, but there was only the second game.
Yeah.
And so from week 1 over to week 2, I think there was drastic improvements. I think obviously getting the win is a good thing, but also just the improvements from the things that they had to change from what they did in Carlsbad to get into the Hobbs game. And so, yeah, it was fun and had a lot of fun talking about it on the radio,
as
right. Always.
That's right. Well, I have pictures. I think this is the earlier post, so this may be like the day 1 post of pictures from the Hubbard Creek.
If it was the day 1, then and I'm not sure, I don't remember the pictures, but this is Mike Hill. Mike ended up winning the tournament. He's the only one that caught a full limit either day. He's just holding 2 of his fish there, but yeah, some nice fish caught, and Mike ended up winning the boaters side of our tournament.
Okay, want the next one?
Sure.
And there you are.
And that's Lex Klein. Lex ended up fishing with us. He was supposed to fish with me. He had come into the radio station, heard me talking about the fact that I didn't have a partner for that tournament, and he came in. It was a couple weeks prior to the tournament, and anyway, he had been a member. He was, I think, Lex is one of the founding members, maybe, of Pecos Valley Bassmasters, or at least he told me he was. If he wasn't founding member, he's one of the early members, and then got away from fishing, but said, "Hey, I want to try it again." He ended up winning big bass on day 1, and I think that's his day 1 photo. I'm pretty sure it is. So the one there in his left hand, on the right side of the screen, was big bass on day 1, and it was 4 something if I remember right, and he won the non-boater side. So he fished as a guest with us. Ended up not fishing with me because I had boat issues. And decided not to make the trip over for fear that I might tear my boat up. And so he ended up fishing with another one of our club members that didn't have a non-boater. And Lex, congratulations to him and Mike both. They won first in the boater and Lex on the non-boater side. That's Jeremy Fuentes. He is one of our club members. He had and I believe that is day 1. So I think you're right. I think we're on day 1 photos. He ended up finishing second, I believe, on the boater side. And he was another boater. He ended up not having a non-boater. So theoretically, I could have left after the game in Carlsbad and just drove over just with a pickup and not taken my boat. I could have fished with Jeremy, but I had already decided because he ended up, his non-boater that was hoping to go couldn't go. And so Jeremy did fish by himself. But anyway, another good showing there by Jeremy. That's David Rutherford, and he, I don't remember, he might have finished third, but anyway, that's David and a couple of fish that he caught on day 1. And a shout out to David because he and Lisa, his wife, they handled the tournament director responsibilities for me, so they took care of all the way in, and I really appreciate. It's the second tournament in a row they've done that for me, and I really appreciate those guys, David and Lisa. That's my dad, and I was going to tell you that his hat there, he did what you did up there at the softball, at the state softball championship.
Folded it up there.
He had it folded. That's one of those brimmed hats, the round like you were wearing anyway. He folded up, and he had a good tournament too. They all caught some fish. The thing about Breckenridge, there wasn't a lot of quantity. We didn't catch a lot of fish. The anglers didn't, but they caught some pretty good fish. He ended up losing one. I think the one there in his right hand ended up dying, but I think we only have one lost fish, which our club is pretty good, and really New Mexico Bass Nation members are pretty good. They're very good conservationists. We take good care of the fish. Sometimes it can't be helped. You lose a fish, but we don't lose them very often, and that's one that we lost this tournament. That's Jeff Yahtzee, and he ended up fishing with my dad as his non-boater. Jeff is having issues with his boat as well, and so he ended up going and fishing with my dad, and he fished as a non-boater on that tournament. That was his day one.
Okay.
That's Catherine Martinez. She was Mike's non-boater, and she actually has joined the club this year as well, and that was her day one. And I've met Catherine, I think. She's new to the club. She's Mike's girlfriend, and I think I've met her, but she's fished the last two tournaments, and I haven't. So I haven't seen her, but I was going to pick on her a little bit because Mike's got he's holding the fish. Now, the last tournament, she held their fish. If you may not remember, but she caught fish in the last tournament as well. But anyway, Mike's holding the fish she caught on Saturday. And that was day one. I didn't have a chance. I was back here, of course, and they sent me the numbers. Normally, I put them into the digital form, but I was super busy that Saturday, and so I ended up just putting them. But it was a lot better writing than mine. Normally, in my writing, you're glad I put it in digital form. But you see day one, the boaters and the non-boaters and their weights, and I always post that to Facebook each evening after the day is finished.
Okay. What I'm going to do now, Joby, is I'm going to switch to
the next.
Go back to the next grouping. So that was the first group, and then if I go up.
Yep.
More recent.
And there it is.
There it is. And so I'll click on that picture right there and make that big screen. And I think this is your day two pictures.
Okay, and that's Mike again. And again, Mike finished first. So he won the tournament as the boater. So good job, Mike, and congratulations on that.
Okay. And
then that's Lex again. So I usually try to do that too. I try to put them in the order that they finished on our, not that matters, but that's how I try to do it in the terms of the pictures that we put onto our Facebook page. And Lex only had the one fish on day two, but it was enough to keep him in first place on the non-boater side, so he finished first.
Okay.
That's David Watkins, and David is who Lex fished with. So David's partner Jed couldn't go this tournament, his normal partner non-boater, and so it worked out that Lex still had a boater to fish with. But David had some good fish on Sunday. I don't think David caught a keeper on Saturday, so it was a little tougher day for him. But you see there are three nice fish for David Watkins on day two.
Okay.
And that's Jeremy Fuentes again, and I think he may have only caught the one on Sunday, but again, just a quality fish. You can see that all these fish are really quality keepers over there at Breckenridge typically.
And
then that's Lisa Rutherford, and I don't think she caught a fish on day one, but she caught that one on day two, so she got on the board. And she, of course, is David's wife and his non-boater, and so that was her fish on day two. Nice bass.
She looks very happy with that fish.
Yeah, it was a nice bass.
Okay, and then here's your tournament results.
And then the tournament results are, you see Mike ended up first place on the boater side, Lex on the non-boater, and then Lex caught day one big bass, and I think if you can scroll, maybe that picture will show day two. I can't remember who caught. Did I cut it off on my picture?
Yeah, because it's not.
It's not going to make it bigger. Okay, so I was trying to remember who caught the big bass on day two.
Let's see on the main screen. Yeah, it's just not.
So I can see it right there. If you want to go back to that, maybe I can see it enough.
Okay.
To that main screen. Yeah, David Watkins caught big bass on day two. That's what I was thinking.
Okay.
That one big fish. If you click on the number the +3, click on that right there. Okay, so David, that big fish in his right hand there was big bass on day two, and I think it was right under 4 pounds. But again, all three of those fish look healthy, good healthy black bass.
Yeah.
So that was last weekend. That was last tournament, and like you said, we weren't able to show those last week because of your computer situation here in the studio. But
I have it resolved.
You've got it resolved now, so we got to look at those. And, of course, anybody out there watching and or listening, you can always go to our Facebook page and see, scroll back through. I don't think I've missed a tournament this year at all, so everything is there. I did update our website, and not with pictures, but I updated the tournament leaders and all that stuff. And so as far as year-end stuff goes, so if you want to know where you're sitting there, you can go to our website, pvbm.club, or just anybody that's interested, and click on tournament results, and or I think it's called leaderboard on our website. So you click on leaderboard, and then you click on 2021, and you'll see who's leading the way. And it is, and I mentioned last week who I thought was at the top, and it isn't exactly everybody. I said, yeah, if you can pull that up, we'll look at it. Gene's working on that for everybody that's watching here.
Oh, I got an extra character in there. You don't have a colon in your...
No, it's just pvbm.club.
Club, yeah, that's what I thought.
And then...
let's see, so I'm going to scroll down.
Actually, scroll back up, and right up there where it says...
Leaderboard?
Leaderboard.
2021.
Yeah, click on that.
And let's see if I can...
Share that, and maybe it'll...
Make it a little bit bigger so that we can try to see it on the screen. So let's see. Let me bring it up, and I don't know. You may have difficulty reading it there. But
no, I can see it. If you'll go back to down the bottom there and put the names over. They're in order, so I don't have to see their point totals. But
oh, I see what you're doing. Okay.
Yeah. Move that. There you go.
There we go. Sorry about that.
That's okay. So if I'm reading that right, David Rutherford right now is leading the way. Mm-hmm. After all the tournaments, you can see we've got one tournament left, which is this month, September. Well, we're still in August right now, but September 25th and 26th, we're going to be at Stamford Lake. That's our last regularly scheduled tournament. And what we do is I take the top 5 for each boater and non-boater. So if they fished 5 tournaments, then that's their 5 scores. If they only fished 4, then they don't have 5, right? So their points will be totaled up that way. But so right now, leading the way is David Rutherford with Jerry Houghtaling, my dad, in second. And then I can't see is
David Watkins and Mark
third,
Williver.
and then Mark Williver in fourth. And so those guys, I think, I haven't run the numbers. I haven't punched in numbers and see. I think all 4 of those men still have a chance because again, I think they all will have fished. If they all fish Stamford, I think they will all have fished 5 tournaments. And then it'll just be how it comes down to their top 5 tournaments. So it's still a chase. Now on the non-boater side, it's between is that Lisa Rutherford?
Yes, Lisa Rutherford
is leading the way
with 1,772, and then Terry Tidwell has 1,477.
Yeah, so I think Lisa's got it wrapped up on the non-boater side, but if Terry fishes this last tournament, then it could be close. Mm-hmm. He didn't go to the him and Mark, neither one fished in the Hubbard Creek tournament, and they normally fish together. So it's looking like Lisa probably will win the non-boater side, but yet to be seen. So we got one more tournament, and all those points will be tabulated. And then, of course, we've got our championship. And the plan this year, unless my club says, hey, we don't want to do that, right now the plan is to, if they fished a tournament and they're a member, so they can't fish it if they fished a tournament as a guest. But if they fished a tournament this year, then we're going to allow them to fish the championship. That would just add more numbers because we just had a down year for all the obvious reasons. And so I want to get as many people to fish the championship as we can. And so if they, like Lex, for example, is joining the club. In fact, he already did. He said, hey, I had a blast. I'm going to fish the next tournament.
Okay.
So Lex is going to be fishing with. So he's eligible because he's fished one. He's planning on fishing this month at Stamford. But even if he didn't, he would still be eligible to fish. So all of our members, so what that means is if somebody wants to fish 2 tournaments with us, they're not a member yet, or they haven't fished any tournaments, they still can. They could join the club, which we're just charging half our dues, so $20 to join the club for this year, and then fish Stamford, and then that would qualify them to fish in our championship. So, if there's somebody out there listening and says, you know what, I want to try that, I want to do that, then they still can.
All right, go to pvbm.club.
Yes.
And that way you can get your form filled out and signed up. And then
or just contact me, and there's contact information there.
All right, Joby, thank you very much.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
That's going to